Ang problema ko diyan, ang social media is actually a virtual version of our real world. Kasi kung 80% ng population nandiyan na, nagko-consume ka ng iba't ibang information, then ibig sabihin, a conversation between the government and social media owners, sila Zuckerberg, can actually shape the political conversation. 'Di ba? Kung titingnan mo lang siya as taxing entity, puwede nilang nakita natin 'to, it's controlled by algorithm. Alam mo kung ano yung mga magiging, information na lalabas, puwedeng maging, magkaroon ng bias, 'di ba? Yung mga recent conversation natin, 'yan, Digital Services Act, meron na tayo niyan, but it's limited on paying taxes. But for example, and ito nga yung inisip natin when I filed the case against an individual na nagpapakalat ng fake news, 'di ba? Yung mga fake news na yon were posted on social media. So ano ang liability ng social media for allowing fake news to spread
Yeah.
sa platform nila, 'di ba? So yun yung pinag-uusapan natin. And ang problema natin doon is, for example, kapag sa newspaper nag-publish ka ng libelous
Libel.
material, kasama yung publisher sa liable. 'Di ba? But in the case of social media, they can continuously allow posting of fake news. They continuously earn from all this fake news, pero wala silang liability, yung owner ng platform. 'Di ba? And the only way, and kahit gusto mo kasuhan si Zuckerberg at saka si Elon Musk sa Twitter, we can't kasi wala silang presence sa country. 'Di ba? So I think kapagka nagkaroon ng conversation on regulation, governments have to demand presence, legal presence ng mga companies na 'to sa isang country because they influence policy, they influence social, arrangements of a country. But at the same time, wala silang liability kasi they're not present in the country. 'Di ba? So at the minimum, I think that should be part of it. But at the same time, itong conversation na 'to dapat may third party, 'di ba? Dapat may civil society, may oversight because the government can be captured by the private sector can be influenced by the government. Eh, kung yung government sabihin nila mag-collude sila, "O sige bawasan natin yung tax niyo, pero dapat ganito yung algorithm ng mga government, information, And I mean, in reality, they ask that from media practitioners, 'di ba, about publishing government information and promoting government information. Bakit hindi yun puwedeng gawin sa social media? And they can do it, 'di ba? So to make sure na protected din yung rights natin in terms of, so dalawang bagay yung pinag-uusapan natin. One is a regulation nung mga platforms as publishers na dapat may oversight ang civil society diyan or third party oversight. Kung may organization ng mga social media influencers, should have a seat in that, oversight, to set rules and standard kung paano mag-ooperate ang social media sa isang bansa. Kasi dapat yung mga rights natin protected din, 'di ba? Hindi ka basta-basta dini-delete, hindi ka basta-basta sine-censor. Kasi it's the virtual community. The rights that you can exercise in real life, you should be able to exercise in the virtual world. Ang difference nga lang kasi, in real life, hindi tayo controlled ng private companies.
Yeah.
In social media, we exist at the mercy of the private companies. And private companies and government can collude on the type of information that they can release. Eh, balikan natin yung data natin. 80% are online, 60% gathers their news from social media. So imagine the influence, how powerful social media can be, 'di ba? Tapos yun nga, ina-allow yung mga katulad ni Roque.
Sige, explain mo yan.
So, bahagi yan ng, freedom of expression, but at the same time, paano nga yung pag-border sa pagpapakalat ng fake news? So, yun yung second type of regulation na gusto nating, pag-usapan din. So, yung first level, regulation of the platform, ang sinasabi natin, dapat kasama ang third party dyan. Organization of media, pwedeng sumama, social media influencers, civil society, part of the conversation on how to regulate the platform, platform. And now, the second level of regulation and accountability na pinag-uusapan natin, yung social media influencers nga. Because they're now as influential
It's
as
not more so.
the media or even more, diba? Influential because they have millions of followers. And we're not only talking of political social media influencers. Diba? Kasi even if hindi sila political, they can sell products, they can do product placement, they can endorse. Pero alam niyo ba talaga kung ginamit nila yung product na yun or hindi? Diba? Hindi mo naman alam eh.
Yeah.
But they can endorse it and they get paid for it. Pero hindi natin alam if they're really paid for it or not. Diba? So ang suggestion ko sana dito, and I think an organization of social media influencers exists. But if media practitioners and journalists can have their own ethical standard, I think kinount ko na yung sarili ko as social media. Sabi ng
Statistically, you are.
Sabi ng datos, kapag meron kang at least 5,000 followers, you are a social media influencer.
Ako balang araw.
Pagka nagawa mo na yung lalabay law mo. So I think, kapag may organization, we should start talking about ethical practices for social media influencers. And that should include disclosure. Because ang mga social media influencers, dahil sa influensya mo, politicians can hire you and can pay you to promote them. Diba? And you're very powerful kasi you're more likable, you have followers, and then they believe you because you create the community. Pwede ka ring manira ng tao. Alam natin yan, may mga natalong politiko dahil talagang hindi tinigilan sa social media, diba? Pero yun bang yung mga kumakalaban sa isang politiko, alam ba natin kung binayaran ba yan or hindi? Sino ang nagpopondo dyan? Hindi natin alam. Diba? And if we are consuming data and information from social media, there has to be disclosure sa public. And I think that's a responsible thing to do. What do you think, Prof. Dan? Dapat doon nagsasalita ka pa ng mas marami.
Hindi kasi ang pag sinabi mo, especially sa legal, pag sinabi mong regulation, diba? May isang sector talaga dyan, red flag na agad yan. Kasi ang tingin naman nila dyan ay censorship. Diba? Diba yun yung sinasabi nila? And you hear that refrain na galing dun sa mga vlogger na in-invite sa Congress. Diba? Yung mga investigation na yan, ang purpose yan is to write a law. So kung naririnig natin, halimbawa, sinabi ko kanina, no? They hedge on their statements. So hindi I wasn't lying, it's not fake news. Or yung sinabi ni Trixie na, hindi naman natin alam kung, today it might be fake, but tomorrow it might not be. So,
wow.
Ang problema doon, it allows you to say whatever you want. Kahit mali, kahit fake. Kasi sabi mo, bale mo, science will show na tama pala ako. So,
the earth is flat, ganun. Yesterday it's round. Now it's flat.
Sa law, pag sinabi mong regulation, nag-ano kagad yung media. Kasi, ang effect yan, baka sinesensor nyo. So, may mga bawal na concept.
Dangerous.
Yes, may bawal
ito
na
yung kaya kailangan natin mag-distinguish sabi ni Ricky. There will never be regulation of social SOCMED locally. Control might be the only option. This will avoid SOCMED from being used in a negative way. But that's dangerous din. Kasi that's what we're saying Kapag kinontrol mo yan, imagine the extent of influence that you can have. And if the government is the one controlling, ito na nga yung sabi ni CB. Diba? Let's not forget the number one beneficiary of SOCMED fake news, walang iba kundi yung presidente for spreading fake news about Taliano Gold na kaya at sustainable ang 20 pesos na rice. Diba? At genius daw yung presidente.
Fake news built ngayon. Over the years. Yun ang technique nila dyan.
Diba? So dalawang bagay. Yung regulation ng platform as a tool. Diba? Ito as a business, as a community. Yan, importante dyan yung may third-party oversight. Ibig sabihin, parties that are beyond, aside from the government and the business. Kasi kailangan hindi makontrol ng government. Yung hindi magkaroon ng censorship. On the other hand, itong mga social media influencers, naniniwala ko na hindi yan dapat i-control ng government. In the same way na hindi kinokontrol ng government ang media. 'di ba? Kasi pwede rin 'yan maging dahilan ng suppression ng freedom of expression. Pero to some extent, we have to demand accountability from social media influencers dahil nga po, powerful members din sila ng society. Kung nagde-demand tayo ng ethical standards sa mga journalists and media na gumagamit ng social media platform, in the same way na dapat tayo bilang social media influencers maging responsible and also have some degree of ethical standards in terms of presenting information. Dapat siguraduhin natin na hindi tayo nagpapakalat at nagko-contribute sa pagkakalat ng fake news. Disclosure, kung binabayaran tayo, kung halimbawa binayaran ako ng isang tao to promote himself or herself, then I will disclose na this is a paid interview. Diba? So that the people who are listening can then qualify kung paano nila i-appreciate yung information na sinashare mo. If I'm paid by a company to push for a product, then you say, this is a paid advertising for X product. Diba? And I think that's important in terms of accountability. Alam niyo po, this is part of my dissertation. Hindi ko pa na-share sa inyo. And I think, for example, yung pagbibigay ng gift sa mga doctors, base sa mga pag-aaral, and these are academic journals, they influence the decision of doctors on what to prescribe their patient. Bakit to pinag-aaralan? Kasi meron tayong generic version ng drugs. Merong branded at marami scientifically and by law ang sinasabi natin. Generic is exactly the same as a branded. Pero sometimes people continue to buy branded
Mas mahal.
na nagko-contribute sa pagtaas ng health expenditure. So pag-aaralan mo, bakit patuloy yung consumption ng mga tao ng branded na mas mahal na gamot kaysa sa generic? Well, maliban sa fact na minsan wala kang tiwala sa kakayahan ng gobyerno to regulate the quality ng medicine, ha? But on the assumption na technically pareha sila. So one factor is because of influence of pharmaceutical companies. And that's considered corruption.
Paano nila
Diba?
ini-influence? Mga gift giving
Yan, yung mga med reps.
Yan.
When they give gifts to doctors. So in the US, meron na silang registry, public registry, na kapag tumanggap ang doktor ng gift na at least $5, imagine that small, $5, they have to disclose publicly na tumanggap ako from X pharmaceutical company ng $5.
Ano ba yung mga natatanggap nila?
Bawal na yan, even the notepads. Alala ko kasi may uncle ako na doktor, so nung bata ko, nakikipakinabang ako dyan sa mga notepad, ballpen. Ang cute, diba? But it turned out, small things like that, notepads, ballpen, can influence the decision of doctors. That is my dissertation, yung mga ganyang regulation. Pero wala pa tayong ganung regulation dito sa Pilipinas, no? So even notepads and ballpens, hindi na yan ina-allow sa ibang bansa. Even yung mga sample drugs, yung sample medicine, di ba minsan iniisip natin, okay yan kasi at least may nabibigay na mga gamot para sa mga pasyente, mga walang pambili, binibigyan ng ng medicine, 'di ba? Pero sa ibang bansa, ginagawa nila, kino-consolidate na 'yan sa isang opisina lahat ng sample medicine at hindi na yung doktor ang nagbibigay ng sample kasi nga nakaka-influence ng decision nila 'di ba? In the same way na bakit ito dinidiscuss? In the same way that if you accept money from your clients, from the people that you will feature, then automatically hindi na kayo makakapag-present ng unbiased opinion. Kasi tumanggap na kayo ng gift, tumanggap na kayo ng bayad. And I think, napaka-importante na nadidisclose yun sa mga tao na nagko-consume ng materials sa social media. Diba? And I hope the organization of social media influencers can consider that, setting some standard para sa lahat, hindi lang sa mga political social media influencers, but for all social media influencers and vloggers na try mag-build ng community and followers dito sa social media. And how do you do the regulation? Kung compliant yung isang social media influencer dito sa mga ethical standards ito, nagdi-disclose ako na ako wala akong tinatanggap na bayad, etc. etc. Then for example, you get the blue seal. Diba? So that the blue seal, the check mark, becomes more meaningful. Gawin natin yellow seal or pink,
Go.
gold, orange,
Dilaw
rainbow,
at pink.
rainbow.
Ito ay pinagpakamalan
Para
dito.
walang magalit. Rainbow seal. Meaning, you are practicing and you're complying with this ethical standard. So at least parang kang may brand. Diba? Naalala niyo yung super brand ba yun? Or kapag sa mga company, organizations, ISO certified. Di ba yung mga ganon? So kapag meron kayong ganong certification, then parang sinasabi nyo na I'm an ethical practitioner of social media.